Hey, good morning. How's everybody doing? Today we're talking about CIA 2, Target Alex. This is a 1993 film. It's part of my collection, so I've got to do it. Can't afford to do new movies all the time because I can't afford to get them, and all the new movies are being put on all the new system. They're using digital like Disney Plus, Premiere Plus, so they can keep their woke movies to themselves and make you pay to watch them, but you never get to own them. You never get to keep it in your collection. You never get to actually do it. Amazon started this whole thing, by the way, destroyed the movie collector's options because you can't. It's really hard to get all these new movies and shows on DVD or Blu-ray or 4K, even though that's the way I want them. But anyway, so this CIA Target thing is when Alex gets captured. Okay, here's the way the movie went down for me. I'm not going to read from this script that I wrote. This woman, she's an ex-CIA officer. They call her Alex because there's really not a whole lot on here. They call her Alex, and she defended herself in a grocery market, her and her daughter, in a grocery market, and they showed her kicking their ass, even though they've got guns, lots of action, all that stuff. It's hard to believe that a woman could actually do that, considering her size and the size of the men that she was up against. But, she used martial arts and military training, and she ended up killing all the men that attacked her and her kid in the grocery store. So the kid, then she gets put in jail. Then the CIA agent, Mark, shows up to talk to her and get her to rejoin the agency so that she can get bailed out. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to do anything for her. So that's blackmail to get her to go back to work for the agency. Didn't work out too well. She infiltrates the bad guy they were after. And then, my computer's going nuts. Damn women. They're texting me and telling me and all that stuff because every last one of them want to get married. We're going to solve their marriage problem if I have my way. But we're not doing that on this channel. We can do that on the other channel because this is not the place for it. Anyway, so she infiltrated the bad guy's lair. The terrorist group. I guess she was a girlfriend of the leader at one time, so she went back to be the girlfriend again. All that hanky-panky fun stuff with the bad guy. The guys that girls like a lot. Yeah, there's lots of politics involved in this. So they were trying to steal some microchip from a lab. That's what the whole thing was about, this whole microchip. In the 80s, microchips were the thing to steal. And this is 1992, so they carried it over a little bit because they were a little behind times for the cops and everything else. And, I don't know what's going on there. But, we'll figure that out later. Over there and over there, up there, whatever. So, anyway, so what they did is she infiltrated the group and, running around getting intel, giving it back to Mike, her handler, ex-boyfriend. Then, they bring in another woman that's a bad guy woman, and she goes to trying to control the problem and solving the problem and trying to figure out if she's part of the group or she's not. Then the CIA, after they get enough intel, the CIA gets into this group and they attack them, and then the operation goes forward and forward and forward. Before all that, this group tries to steal this chip out of a warehouse. And, that's how this all gets into that. And it was actually a pretty good movie. I enjoyed watching it. Lots of actions, lots of fight. It's from the 90s. It still had lots of politics. CIA Codename Alex is the other movie that was part of this series. But anyway, this woman, she gets to kick all these things. And at the end, they get to play in an old amusement park on an island, go way up and high on a thing that looks like a Space Needle, but it has an elevator that brings the floor up and down. And she gets put up all the way up on top with one guard and breaks it and ends up getting down the ladder and, getting away after the CIA comes in and rescues her. So she become the woman. She becomes the tough woman at the beginning of the show, and at the end of the woman, she's a damsel in distress. It's a pretty good movie. You should all watch it. It didn't do real well when it was in the box office because at that time, nobody really wanted to see women being men. We didn't like cross-dressers at that time. And they love them now, so that's going to be more of what you're going to see coming out of the movies. But this movie was directed by Lenzo Loomis. It had Mikhail Grammer. It had a lot of weird stuff going on it. The only person I recognize on that list is John Savage, and he was a movie star of the 80s. It came out in December 2006. It was 90 minutes long. Every place else said it was 120 minutes or an hour and 20 minutes. It was done in the United States, and I don't have the figures for what it did in the box office. But this movie was actually a pretty good, well-packed action movie, but it if I remember right, it didn't do real well at the box office because, they're still pushing it on all these movie channels, but, it doesn't seem like too many people are watching it because it's kind of an obscure film. It's kind of one of those you watch when you're bored, but I got it because I liked it back then, and I watch it once in a while, but not very often. So it's kind of one of those things. You got to kind of watch what you can and see how it works. Do what you can and see how it works.